Get Out is one of my favorite horror movies to come out in a very long time, and I'm very excited about Nope. Now so I don't know when I'm going to get out to see it. I am going to go to the theaters, of course, but I will say this. I have a couple other movies I'm going to check out first, and then possibly not this week, but the week after, I will be checking out DC Super Pets, and maybe I'll check out Nope at the same time, just because it would be really nice to go to a good movie, that being Nope, which is probably going to be great, and then go into DC Super Pets, which is probably going to be garbage, right? So, or other way around, you watch a bad movie first, and then you gotta cleanse your palate with a good movie. As a huge DC fan, I definitely want to see Super Pets, just for being the DC fan I am. So even if it's bad, good, whatever, I don't really give a shit. But I do want to review Us and Get Out before we get Nope playing in theater. So, here's my review of Get Out. This is an interesting movie to describe, um, because it's hard to describe what makes this movie great, because most of the horror is very psychological and very intense, but it's hard to describe what it makes it good. And so this is a movie that is definitely best you just watch it and not really read reviews or whatever. But this is a movie that became a huge sensation when it came out, because we got two dudes, which Key and Peele, and Jordan Peele left that team. Who they were great comedy writers. They had a great show, and they were really funny people. They were great voice actors in other projects. Then he comes along, comes out of nowhere, makes this movie with Blumhouse called Get Out, and this movie is amazing. And what's really great about this movie is the political satire in this movie is amazing, which is interesting because it's not a horror. That's not what you expect horror movie. But the scene where the main character literally gets pulled over by this cop, and the white girl's driving the car, and and instead of asking the person driving the car for her driver's license, he asked the black dude for his driver's license, and that felt very real and very horrific, because a lot of these things happen in the real world like that, and there's no excuse for that kind of racism and things like that. And this movie really explores these horrific fears. And it's a weird movie to describe, because if you want me to describe the plot of this movie, I don't is that this dude, or where the horror comes from. This dude goes to stay with some white people who's black. It's creepy because you don't know what's going on and stuff, but it's a very well paced movie. This movie's beautifully shot. Daniel Kaluuya, ever since this movie, I've just been blown away by all of his performances except for Black Panther. He's been great in Judas and the Black Messiah, which was one of my favorite movies of last year. He's just a fantastic actor in everything the man does, and this is just a great movie as well. And this is just fantastic. I love Daniel Kaluuya. If you're watching this video, which you're not, love you, man. But his performance feels so real and earnest when he's in that chair crying in that one scene. Very horrific scene. Just so many horrific scenes that make you have like you come out. It feels like you're having an out of body experience during some of these scenes. You're like, what the fuck did I just watch? It's very scary, very intense. It's a very self-contained thriller, and I really like this something better than the new Candyman, because I didn't feel like the political satire in that movie was as heavy-handed as some people made it out to be, but it still was a little more heavy-handed than a movie like this, because this movie just feels like it's showing you something, and then there's other parts of the subtext that that will definitely take me multiple viewings to rewatch and things like that and discuss with other people. It feels like a movie made for that. It's just such a great movie. The writing here is great, the directing is great, and there's a reason that this movie became such a sensation. This is an incredible movie, and unfortunately, I think when we talk about Jordan Peele's next film, it won't be as good as this, from what I remember, anyways. Us, but I will definitely be watching that soon, and we'll talk about that very soon. But I am a big fan of this movie, and it's one of my all-time favorite horror movies. If you haven't seen Get Out, you gotta see this movie. It's incredible.